Hey, good morning. It is Guido, and this is Coffee Talk, one of the world's World of Tanks podcasts. We're one of them. We are on the left side of the Atlantic. It is Guido, and on the right side of the Atlantic is
Pilgrim.
all
Chilling
right.
with his cup.
Hey, I'm doing the same thing. I got my miserable Monday cup.
Cool. Buy it while you can.
Well, I think you know this, but if you go down to the link and you go to Teespring, you can actually outfit an entire household with my goods.
Which I'm currently doing.
If your entire household consists of a couple T-shirts, a sticker, and some coffee mugs.
Yeah. You need coasters. That's what you need.
Oh, is that what the household goods are missing?
Yeah, that's what's missing. Coasters.
That's the one thing. It's not a couches or pants. We don't need pants. If we had some coasters, we'd be fine. I mean, given enough Guido 1212 stickers, you could fashion some pants out of them.
I guess so. Yeah. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? That'd be a project for the community. I mean, first person to do that wins 500 gold.
If you cut apart the shirts, you could probably make just about anything. Seriously. You could make a couch out of shirts and stuff shirts inside of shirts.
That was a serious tangent into shilling for your kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, we went right off the rails. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. I do appreciate it. We were just discussing it, but I'm in the middle of a Saharan dust storm, if you can believe it. And no, I'm not in the Sahara. I'm in Florida, in the United States, on the left side of the Atlantic. The hits just keep coming, Pilgrim.
Well, you know what? You've got to ride them out. I guess it's one of those things.
If
I don't get it here, I just get rain.
If a frog or a fish falls out of the sky, I'll see you in Utah in the mountains.
Yeah,
that's where
absolutely. Yeah, that's where I'll be heading. Don't you worry.
Come on over. If you can make it across the Atlantic, just come on in.
Well, I'll swim. I'll swim if I have to, but I'll get
just there. The first American you see, just ask them if they know me, because you know how that works.
Yeah.
You're British. You're British. Do you know Pilgrim?
Yeah, dodgy character.
But actually, I'm quite famous over here because of World of Tanks, so they probably would know.
I know this. Yeah, I feel very honoured and privileged to be part of this whole channel of yours. Coffee Talk.
So speaking of famous, see that segue that I just did right there. We did the Twitch stream yesterday.
Yeah.
And they had drops, I think. Let me know down below if you guys got your drops. I actually got. Pilgrim just looked. He's not sure, but I got the kits, but I don't think I got the mission. There was supposed to be a mission that dropped, and I don't have it listed. Although I have a little 3 up by my missions tab, so maybe it just showed up or something. That's kind of weird. But there was supposed to be a mission to get a rammer, but I did get the kits. So let me know what you guys did or did not get. It's good feedback for the WGNA. Apparently the EU stuff worked fine though, Pilgrim. That's what I heard anyway.
Well, I haven't. As I was saying to you before we started this, my Twitch account is on my EU email account. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's my EU What account, which would have had the drops, which I haven't checked this morning. I've only checked the NA because I'm stupid.
Well, that's in the finest tradition of coffee talk preparation.
Absolutely.
In that there is none.
Yeah.
So there was. So there was some feedback. Actually, we'll just jump right into this on the forum, and of course, one person complaining, but there's actually multiple people saying the same thing. So I thought this was kind of interesting, and then hurt my feelers just a little bit. But it's worth talking about because I think feedback's important, as I always say. And the guy said, I'm reading it. You don't see it, but it's on the NA forum. Basically, things he learned. You're not guaranteed to get anything. You should have been. The rewards are not even good. Okay, it's free stuff. If you got some kits, I don't know what to tell you. What did you want? A tier 8 tank? Apparently the epic drops were better. My feedback to Wargaming is make the epic drops more things, more variety of things to make it more interesting. I mean, if just a piece of equipment dropped, that'd be pretty cool. Make that a slightly higher percentage chance. But the question is, between their marketing and Twitch and how the whole thing operates, apparently it was technically, this is great, for a while, that this is what Cabbage said, it was technically impossible, which of course is BS. It's just they hadn't.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't take the brains of a rocking horse to be able to work something like that out.
Well, I mean, it may be tricky, but depending on the interplay between the companies and their software, but nothing's really impossible. I think. But anyway, so that was my feedback for them. If you guys have any feedback, by the way, for this, let me know, and I will give it to the WGNA guys. The people that this is the one that hurt, Pilgrim, right to the heart. The people that do the streaming are some of the worst ever. Oh, that's rough. Only Wargaming NA could come up with the most uninteresting and boring streamers.
Really? Well, you weren't even given an opportunity to discuss anything. It was like, yeah, this is Guido. By the way, blah de blah. So a bit unfair, isn't it?
So my immediate reaction to that is, why you little? And then I went, yeah. It's kind of my thing to be sort of boring.
Well, do you know what? It's not your thing to be boring. It's your thing to be informative, straight face. I'm the joker in the pack here. You're the straight guy. That's what it is.
That's right. Actually, if they did an hour of you telling stories, they would probably get a lot of traction out of it.
It cost them, I can tell you.
That's what, another coffee mug?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. At least another coffee mug, and maybe a coaster when you get them developed.
Okay. So there was 4 of us. There was Sophie, me, Damien's Gaming, Damien, and Trobs. Look, there's nothing. I think you must have been watching mine, because there's nothing boring about Sophie. There's definitely nothing boring about Damien. The guy's hilarious. And Trobs, he is definitely a character, so he must have been talking about me, which is cool.
You're taking it personally.
Yeah, I know, right?
Get it.
No, I'm not. It's all fine.
No, I know you don't.
If everybody liked me, then I'd have a lot more followers and so. So there you go.
Yeah.
But just for everybody out there, we were the 4 who came forward this time and said, yeah, we'll do it. There's, several dozen actually CCs, and some are really good players. So stick with it. You'll probably see the guy you like in the near future. Streamers tell you nothing you do not already know. So that was interesting. He's lumping the streamers. He says streamers. There's really 2 Wargaming employees and 1 streamer that was there. Yeah. And when he says streamers, he's talking about the people who are streaming. So I get that. But the company guys can't just roll out there and start telling all the secrets they know, even if they knew secrets. And what
he even alluded to that. Tragic said, look, there's stuff we know, but we can't tell you because we can't 100% guarantee it's going to happen, so we're not going to tell you stuff.
And I'll be honest,
and that's fair.
Wargaming NA is at the end of the whip. And while they do know stuff, while they do know stuff we don't know, they know a lot less than people on the other side of the Atlantic know. So
yeah, no doubt.
The technical aspects of why people didn't get drops, absolute good feedback that needs to be worked on, and I know they're doing it. So there you go. Yeah. I just broke the cardinal rule of not addressing haters on this kind of thing, but
yeah, I know. But sometimes, do you know what? It doesn't hurt occasionally to go, get back in your box, buddy.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's good feedback. If you don't like, you don't have to
feedback.
Yeah, you don't like people. You don't like people. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, exactly. Get off my lawn. Shout at clouds.
All right.
Can I top and tail that?
Yeah.
I think the most serious problem you had on the Twitch stream with the NA server, was the fact you had a mishap with your hat.
Yeah, the hat was not right.
Yeah. It wasn't working right. So, no. A, it was probably too small. It looked too small.
Yeah.
And B, I know there's history with the hat, but I'm going to send you this. It's a genuine Panama, which is, obviously Florida.
Yeah.
There you go, genuine Panama. I'm going to send you this, and it should fit because it's like very big.
Okay? Good. Look at the size of the cranium on him.
It's all skull, no brain. I've heard it before.
Yeah, that's standard at Cro-Magnon, man. All right, so, oh man, everything just went crazy. Hold on. I don't know what I just did. Let me get everything back. Speaking of technical difficulties. All right, channel news, guys, check it out. This is the M41D. Time to pat myself on the back. If we go to service record, we go to Hall of Fame, we go to ratings by vehicles. This is part of my 100 battle challenge, and then, of course, I get the error every time, so I have to do it twice. I don't know why. So I'll click it again. Ta-da! M41D, Guido 1212, #1 on the server.
Wow. You were talking about that yesterday, whether you were going to do it or not.
Recent. Cool. Yeah, so I did those 2 games. I had 2 good games. So at the moment, anyway, I'm #1. I think it's for the last 30-plus battles in June. Sorry. #1 in June with 30 battles. Let's leave it at that.
Hold on.
Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, that was cool. Cool little tank, man. I really enjoyed this tank, actually. Very, very good tank. All right, so I just had to pat myself back on the back with that.
Yeah, do you feel better now?
I do. Make sure you go to my store and buy all my stuff and outfit your house. So I'm continuing the 100 Battle Challenge. P43 TR is next. We talked about the Twitch drops. My next stream will be Monday. Looks like we froze up there for a second. We definitely froze up right there. All right, may have to
Me
edit this.
drinking tea.
No. Yeah, it was your tea that did it. All right, the next stream will be Monday for the Stack Up stream from 4 to 6. My mouth will work eventually. And then Friday is my next planned Guido stream from 9 to 12. And that'll be kicking off the weekend for the 4th of July. And Pilgrim's got something good for that, but we'll get to that in a little while later.
Okay.
I think that's it for subject or for
Channel news.
Channel news. Thank you. That's what I was looking for, man. I just woke up. Did we want to talk about the new words that we've invented?
Well, you invented an absolute stormer of a word, which applies to me most of the time I play this game. It was called laming. I'll let you explain that one.
Laming is defined as terrible aiming. When you suck so bad at aiming, it's laming.
That's me. Yeah, you know this lead aim. I've never got the hang of that. I always try and fire at the back wheel because I want to take the back wheel out, but it keeps moving. Why does it keep moving when I'm trying to shoot you?
Yeah, that is exactly laming. Yeah. When you need a lot of lead fire, but you want to snipe the back wheel of the tank. Yeah,
because you want to look impressive to your friends.
Right.
Oh, the other word. Okay. Currently, the player base, I'm like, I have no hair, but if I had, I would have pulled it out anyway by now.
Yeah, wow.
Because I think we have what is now going to be termed COVID hermits playing this game.
Yeah.
There are people who have either got an account but not visited it for a long time, but now they're not in work because they're COVID hermits and they're living in homes.
So they're actually living in COVID
in homes, caves.
No, COVID hermitages. Hermitage.
Oh yes, hermitages with internet access.
Somebody let them out, and now they're all crawling around the game.
I know, and it's like there is no meta anymore. The meta is a COVID hermit meta.
Yeah. It is actually that is so true. That is absolutely happening right now. It's insane. It is really bizarre.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm racking up massive damage counts because I'm the only one actually doing anything.
Yeah. So then you
it's not helping because I keep losing.
Then you get little messages like this from this guy, which again you can't see, but it says, "Imagine having 85,000 battles. No wonder you cry so much in game. This pretty much is your life." Oh man.
But it is my life. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, what? It's not your life? What are you talking about?
Wait, do you do something else? Yeah.
I love those.
Those
are my favorite comments. The whole, "Oh, you have no life."
Yeah.
Not exactly, dude. I just
no.
I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, it makes me smile. We've had this before, Guido. It makes me smile because the majority of the people who serve in the military have had a real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whatever we're doing with our lives right now, hey, you know what I mean? Don't tell me.
But I don't even like to. I mean, I'm with you on that. But I don't like to lead with that or even get into that.
No. It's just something.
If somebody wants to spend their life playing a game, provided they're not a leech on society, I don't give two poops.
No.
Whether they do, and I guess the point of that is, if you think that's an insult, you maybe go look in the mirror. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's see. Let's move on. Missions and specials. Man, we had a lot of tangents. We had Saharan dust storms, new words being invented, me crying about people not liking me. It was all kinds of... Dude, that was a lot of whinging and just crying and whining.
Yeah. I don't dare, lad. Having a whinge.
Tell me I'm okay, Pilgrim. Tell me I'm fine.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Hey, do you know what, Guido? Bottom line is that I love you, brother.
All right. Good Lord, this is getting terrible. All right, let's go to Shill. because if you're not annoyed enough by now, then by the time we get done chilling, you should be. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm in the featured there on the NA there, brother. And you know what? We were discussing this before, everybody. I don't think much has changed in the store over the last week because there's still the Alpine Tiger and the WZ111. There's still the Senlac and the 1357 together at $40, which, by the way, guys, is a great deal. Plus, I have a coupon, so if you have a coupon, it looks like it works on that. That's an amazing deal for those tanks. Senlac is average 13, and some people like it actually because it's got a pretty nice little heat round on it. The 1357 is fantastic. I really, if you're spending money on this game and you like light tanks, I cannot recommend those enough if you don't have them. The Rev is still out with some of the 3D styles. So yeah, isn't that the same page as last week?
That was basically the same as last week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was because we talked about the Chinese. Why would you buy two Chinese tanks?
Yeah. Somebody will tell me down below, yeah, but there was one other tank that's not there anymore, which is good. That's what I love about this channel. I can't, that's actually something just to touch on, which I touch on every once in a while. Please feel free to put stuff down in the comments when you see stuff either we get wrong or that is in addition to, because one of the reasons for this channel is for everybody to help each other out. So that's always good stuff. Gold is the same thing. The premium, the same stuff. Yeah, this is not going to be a good shill because there's just really not much to talk about.
Well, there isn't. No, I've even. We've looked at it. Even I haven't got any coupons left, so none of that is flagging up at all now. So.
There is one thing to talk about, guys. Apparently, the Panzer 58 Mutts, Panzer 58, the Mutts, and the Schwarz Panzer, which are all the same tank, you can trade in your Schwarz or your Mutts for a Panzer 58. You can do it. You can do it once, and the reason you might want to do that is the Panzer 58 can put whatever camo and stickers and stuff you want on it, whereas the Mutts and the Schwarz.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you can put stickers on the Schwarz. I don't think so.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's a set camo, isn't it?
Yeah, the black tanks are just black. There's nothing you can do with them. So that's by ticket, and I think you may have to dig around. Maybe I'll try to find it later for you. But you send in a ticket, and they'll do it once. And it's only, I believe, from the Schwarz or the Mutts to the Panzer 58. It's not Panzer 58 to one of those, which I don't know why you would want to do that, but there you go.
Is that purely because Wargaming saw that and went, do you know what, we need to sort this out to let people, because they can't put the camo on the other ones?
Yeah.
So is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a nice thing for them to do. They've done something like that in the past, where if you didn't want the one that was, the camo was locked on it. They're doing it in batches, so it's not going to be immediate. So send your ticket in, and then at some point it will switch. There you have it. Specials. Let's see. Not much else there either. Not seeing it.
No, I mean, you scroll right down to the bottom, and it's the little bits of add-ons that we talked about.
Yeah. I mean, the round... Go ahead.
Sorry, can I just say about the Skoda T40 skin?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looks like a coffin to me. Am I totally off tangent here? Is it just like it's like a rolling coffin?
Yeah.
Okay, just a random thought. I'll carry on.
What's it supposed to be?
I don't know. Is it a wardrobe?
Airsats, a wardrobe. Airsats armor. Okay, so kind of what's the definition for ersatz?
Well, it's not quite real, is it? It's
right.
Wooden.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Is I guess wood. That is weird, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
That just coffin like to me. Sorry. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, that's apropos for a T40. I think you pretty much are in a rolling coffin.
Yeah.
I mean,
gives you lots of confidence when you go out in that tank, surely.
To be honest, I actually like that tank. It's not great. I'm one of those people that likes tanks that I can make work that aren't great because it's just interesting. But there you have it.
Yeah, like the Tur. You do well with the Tur, don't you?
Yeah. Well, that's the shilling, guys. Let's go and see what's going on with missions and everything. July sneak preview. Do you have that? Let's look at that.
Yeah.
What's coming up in July? That's pretty cool. Oh, Battle Pass Season 2 is here, by the way. So make sure you... I bought the advanced or whatever it's called, and I advanced myself 20 levels. I'm already at the... I am already at the level 1 of the...
Oh, you're getting the bombs already,
bonus.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm at stage 30 now, and I didn't buy the increased So another 15 stages to go.
It's expensive to do that. We've gone through that math a
Yeah,
while
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
11,000 gold is not cheap.
Yeah.
All right, so Battle Pass Season 2 is here. You've got 2 commanders. I picked the guy, what's his name? Damon Kilmore. And because I had the Advanced Battle Pass, you end up getting both. You end up getting both styles, I believe, is how that works. So that goes on to September 7th. We have the 10-year anniversary Act 3 ongoing, and that goes to July 13th. So that's still chugging away. I have 1,760 coins now. Pilgrim, what do you got?
Oh, you see, you're ahead of me again, aren't you? I've got 1660.
Ah, there you go.
See, I can't keep up with you. You flyboys are just like whizzing ahead, aren't you?
Because I don't have a life, man. What did? Got no life.
Yeah.
Got no life.
Yeah, get a lot.
And we've talked about this, but I already have the top prize for 10th anniversary. How many games? How many games is this the Wargaming or the game's 10th anniversary? I'm not sure because they kind of do different, or is it all the same?
Oh, is it? No, it's Wargaming's 10th anniversary, isn't it?
I thought Wargaming was around for a lot longer than that, actually.
Yeah, I thought that. Or is it? It's not Wargaming NA, is it? Because
No. Well, anyway, someone will fix this down below. But whatever it is, 10 years for a company or a game running a company running a game for 10 years. And a 3D style was the prize, and I've already got it. And now there's a bunch of celebration left, and I'm kind of left going, what the heck?
What do you need to get the T30 skin? 3 keys.
3 keys. You should have it by now.
I've got it, yeah, but I don't know. Have you got to spend them and then actually buy the camo?
You should have got a screen that just said, here's your camo.
Oh, I've got the 3 keys. I haven't checked it. Something flashed up on the screen. I've seen the 3 keys. Something ages ago flashed up on the screen, and I took no notice on it.
Well,
I'm thinking, I haven't got the T30 skin.
You might have X'd out of it, but if you kind of went along with it for a while, it would show you the skin.
Would it? Okay, so I can go to my T30 and...
Yeah.
Do you know who the commander of my T30 is? General Patton.
Naturally. General
Absolutely.
Patton. All right.
Anyway, sorry.
Global map is ongoing if you're a Clan Wars kind of person. Special summer event is Highway Rock, which I don't know anything about this. 1st to the 13th.
No.
Okay, so it's upcoming. Return to America's hot rod culture of the 1950s. Play missions, earn miles to unlock components and build street machines. Okay. Those do look like cars under that. That might be interesting.
Yeah, it might be actually. Look at that.
Is it some kind of racing thing? I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Well, remember they had ages back the football thing, and you had tanks. But there was another one where you had racing cars. Remember the
Chaffee
one
racing? Chaffee
yeah,
racing.
there you go, Chaffee racing.
And then there was another version that had three tanks that you raced.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting. That's the first thing that I went, okay. So apparently you can build hot rods. I don't know how that's going to work or what's going to go on with that.
Oh, that's cool.
Tanks and metals. July 1 through 15, tanks and metals, which sounds a lot like the one that's going on now. Just different stuff. Customization elements. Hey, I will go back to the anniversary thing real quick, guys. I'll say it one more time. I'll probably say it until the end. Save your keys because it seems like with each act, they add a few more customizations and decals and things. Decals.
Yeah.
So wait till the end because something cool may show up as far as small cool may show up. And who knows, maybe they'll throw something cool out.
Well, even if it doesn't, Guido, you can still spend those keys before the end date on all the directives or whatever it is that you can buy with them. So,
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
don't need to spend it now, do you?
Tank rewards are going to have another one for next month. That's probably one of the best and easiest missions they do. So people should be just collecting premiums like crazy off of that because it's one a month. That's actually a good deal. Tanks.
I'm not far off that, the 5th level, so I'll get the Waffen Tracker because I haven't got that.
You can take the tier 7. I always take the highest tier one because so far I've had every one of them. Tanks, Nations, and Aces looks like more missions, a la the tanks and metals or whatever is going on right now. July on track are going to be the Sturv T57 and 4005. I hate the 4005. Goodness gracious.
Well, it's an acquired taste, isn't it? Really.
Miserable Monday will have some greatest hits of some of my shots with that thing because I have deleted some people, but I generally stink at it. You play it for those moments that you delete an IS-3 with a 1500 damage. And
Absolutely.
and as that is 1% of the time you play it, it's highly annoying.
Yeah.
July Premium Shop. What do we got? RAM, VC, Patriots. I'm looking at these. All right, the Lorraine 40T is coming up July 10th to 20th. That's worth getting. The Liberté is okay. The T25 Pilot number 1 is okay. The T26 E5 is a very good heavy. A little bit power creep lately. It kind of hard to deal with the pew pew gun on it. It just doesn't hit quite hard enough for a heavy, but it's got everything else going for it. Turret, decent mobility, gun depression. Turtle, Centurion Mark 5/1 Rock is very good for a medium. And then, ooh, look at this. The LT432 is coming up at the end of July. So
yeah, that's well worth it. I got that ages back, and it's well worth it.
yeah, for a light tank player.
Yeah.
Let's see, July weekend and specials. We're going to have a Canada Day special. Oh, the Canadians. Next, excellent. July 1st to 2nd. July 3rd through 6th, times 5, Independence Day weekend and discounts. Ooh, hold on. Discounts, fellas. It is not spelled out what they are, but it looks like we got discounts coming in. Hopefully,
it'd be nice to get discounts on the free XP and everything. We haven't had that for ages, have we? Or have we?
We have had 2 this year already.
No, that's right. We did.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of them was like 45 or 35.
Well, that's right.
One of them was higher than the other than we usually get. So the unknown. So tanks or equipment or consumables or whatever. So that would be cool. Then we've got a ×2 XP. We've got a plus 50% XP, and then another ×2 XP. So it looks like July 4th weekend is going to be the big one for WGNA. And what's next? All right, guys. We broke the code on the code. And it's probably a factor of Pilgrim and I are the last to know, because I'm sure you all know this. But just in case this escaped anybody else out there, which sometimes it does, I get feedback that I help people out on occasion, even when I'm late to the party. The code is the same code. It's just, I guess each week, because this comes out weekly. Watch What's Next 06204. The same code. So somebody help us down below. We didn't really crack this part of the code. Whether do you have to put it in the day it's released? Do you have to? I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. When can you input it?
Right,
Because it's actually advertised on the video as a T34 rental for this week.
Okay, so my assumption, and you know what happens when you assume, is that. Probably about the time they release What's Next, but because of timing with Wargaming, who the heck knows? Could be 4 hours later. I don't know. You put the code in and you get whatever the rental is. Is that what it is? It's just a rental every time. It's not like goodies. Or
I don't know if it's every time, but it has for the last 2 times been a rental. Hasn't it?
Okay.
It's a rental last.
That's actually a great deal for free to play to kind of check those out. Remember, it's like a drug dealer. The first one's free.
I don't know. I've never met many. How many have you met?
I don't know anything about them.
No. The only thing I've heard about rentals, and I know this is like probably nitpicking, is that you have to load it out with equipment that you've got to spend credits on to put in, and then you still have that equipment after the rental's gone if you don't buy the tank.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, can it not just come fully loaded? I'm being cheeky now, but But hey.
That's not a bad idea, except that people might want to put slightly different equipment on
different
it.
Stuff on, yeah.
And I suppose it would actually be cool if, what would be really cool, this would require some coding, but what if they gave you the rental and then you could put any equipment you wanted on it, but it wasn't out of your garage, it was just...
Yeah, just borrow the equipment if you like.
Yeah, you just go to the equipment thing and put whatever you want on it to check it out. That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That might be worth throwing at them to see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've knocked all that out. What else we got going on? We got the sneak preview. We've got the ×2 weekend. This weekend is pretty standard. We'll take a look at that in the UI. It looks like some kits, small kits, the Doge, and the jumping dog decals. So you can do that.
I mean, the kits are worth having. The equipment's worth having.
The sheriff event's ongoing. Some of you probably have sheriff accounts to do that. I did a bit of that yesterday. I gave away, several thousand in gold along the way.
Wow.
So that was cool. And that's what we did yesterday on the stream. We were using our deputy accounts, our sheriff accounts. So I may do a little bit more of that this week. this Sunday. Sorry, today, and then it's over.
Is that? Can I ask a question about that, Guido?
Yeah.
Is that like? I mean, I've had the sandbox and the test server and all that. Like, I've had that downloaded. Is that a separate account then? Completely separate?
Yes. So it's got a different name and login.
Right. Okay.
So I've actually.
And you're fully loaded with everything. They give you everything.
Yeah. If you've. Oh yeah. Well, mine actually has. Mine's different than what they give to the temporary deputies. Mine has all the reward tanks on it because I'm special.
Very special. We've had this out before.
Yeah, very, very special kid. But yeah, so it's got everything on it. If you have multiple accounts, it's nice. It used to be illegal to have multiple accounts, but they changed that 3 years ago or something like that. But if you go into the Wargaming Center, which everybody hates but doesn't bother me, over on the top left, you can actually select whatever account. You do this, don't you? Or do you actually?
No, I've got European drop down. I've got 2 European accounts which drop down.
There you go.
But you've got to have a different email address for each one account. That's the only problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I wish. So you actually start up do you start up a whole different Wargaming Center to do your EU and NA accounts?
No, it's the same Wargaming Center. So I've got World of Warships. I've got World of Tanks, and World of Tanks I've got the NA server account, 2 European server accounts.
How do you know what the difference is? Just the name?
Yeah, the name. I've got 2 different names in Europe. Yeah. And then my World of Warships, I've got an NA server account, and I've got an EU. I have no life. An EU.
We've already established this. Nobody here has a life. If you are watching Coffee Talk with Guido and Pilgrim, you also have no life.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. I love you.
There goes 400 subs.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we, man? Oh, Hunt the Sheriff. So that's ongoing. Pretty good deal. You can get those 250. Man, I've seen a lot of people sell out to get that gold on me. I have a couple. I think at least one replay I want to show you.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. It was quite funny. I hope you do show it sometime next week because it was quite funny. Some people just went, do you know what? I want the gold. I'm gonna die to do it.
They just sell out, man. They just sell out. I think I have the replay. I'll have it for Miserable Monday. But I was playing an EBR game, and these guys just all started piling into the back of the map to get me. They eventually did, but they lost the game. All right, I think that's it for the website stuff. Let's go over to the UI and see what we got going on missions-wise, guys. We'll click on that. Anniversary missions during the breather phase. That's how you get the extra tickets as you go. So that's ongoing. On Track to the Sturb, as we mentioned, is ongoing. Community hunting is the Hunt the Sheriff stuff, I believe. This thing jumping around is driving me crazy.
Yeah, it's doing it again to me, yeah.
Tanks and Aces is ongoing. We've talked about that last week. Medium tank courses, care package June, which I'm basically finished with. Yeah, looks like I've finished my care package June. Got all the goodies for that. Multipliers for On Track, which is nowhere near to the On Track, but we've talked about that in the past. Watt Salute, that's for veterans, now for Canadians as well. 2020 Tank Rewards is ongoing. That goes to June, the end of June, I guess.
Yeah, 29th of June, I think.
Oh my gosh. This is, yeah. Drives me crazy. I can't see it. I can't see it because the font. I guess the end of June. Okay. I guess the end of June. Can you see where it is? Does it say 30 June?
Yeah, it says the 29th of June. From
29th?
The 29th. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not quite the end of June. You've got a day before.
Yeah. So there's a breather day to get ready for the next one. U.S. Tanks and Aces USSR Vasily is ongoing. Medium. I don't think there's anything really to look at in here. God, this thing.
No, it's exactly the same as last week almost. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right. Well, there you go. Nothing else to report on that, fellas. Nothing else to report there. What else we got? We got ×2 weekend. Tank rewards. I think that's it for missions and specials. So it is time for subjects du jour. Well, all right, we're back. I've got my coffee recharged. How about you? Got your coffee?
Tea's recharged, huh? Yeah.
Tea. Come on.
Yeah, tea. Bloody yank.
Yeah. They'll make us have another tea party. Another tea party.
No, that's a criminal waste.
It is. It is. All right, subject du jour, guys. Second equipment test for the sandbox is ongoing. There's been definitely a feedback from everybody on that. I've seen the CCs talking about it quite a bit. I don't know what to think about it. It's one of those things. I try not to come down heavily one way or the other on most things. I mean, some things seem fairly apparent to me, like, hey, we need a wheeled tank nerf, which we'll get to in just right after this. But for the equipment, for the equipment, man, I just feel like we're taking what's a pretty good system, and instead of just adjusting fire and making it a little bit better iteratively, we're just, when I say we, I include the players and the devs, even though we don't have a whole lot of say in it other than our feedback. I don't know, Pilgrim.
I tell you, for me, the system is fine. They just need to refine some of the stuff that you can put on that is more use to the average everyday player and the people who they must have the stats of who uses what equipment.
Yeah.
This whole sledgehammer way of doing business is where they completely scrap the old system and try and introduce a brand new system with all its nuances and everything else. I mean, right now the player base know what the kits are all about, and they know the ones they don't want to use. They're not interested in them, so get rid of them and bring something else in that is more beneficial to the player base that's using them at the moment. Why sledgehammer stuff?
So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about, and I think of what you're talking about a little bit. The heavies are going to have a slot that's going to be reserved for survivability, because in Wargaming's opinion, a heavy tank is supposed to tank stuff, supposed to take hits and be a heavy tank, right? Well, we all know that there are super heavies and there are heavies. A AMX 50, for example, is not a survivability slot for an AMX 50 is not going to do the same thing as a survivability slot for a mouse.
No.
And that's just how the game is played. It's how the tanks are designed. It's how the players, when I say how the game is played, what I mean is, once you release a game to the player base, they kind of determine how it's played. It doesn't matter what the devs' intention was. It doesn't matter what their design philosophy or what they thought was going to happen is. None of that matters. Once you release it into the wild, the players kind of figure it out. And the way they do that is they figure out what works best, which they're already doing with the equipment thing. They're already digging into the numbers, and you got smart guys like 13 Disciple who can crunch numbers and look at things and go, hey, this is the best setup for this tank. Period. It's math. This is how it's the best setup. With maybe this consideration, because if you want to do vision or whatever the case may be. So I think Wargaming goes into dangerous territory when they really try to create a new paradigm when it comes to an already established game. They need to work within the paradigm they've created or has been created by the players, and attempting to buck that system is going to cause issues. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The whole thing about that is that if you listen to the devs when they talk, they have, this tank has a role, and that's how it should be played. Well, that's tough, mate, because once it gets out there, people are going to play the tanks exactly how they're playing them.
Right.
And they don't care about roles. I don't care about what role the tank is what the devs are calling the role. I'm not interested in that, mate. I'll play it the way I want to play it.
Yeah, and I think that, try not to put too fine a point on it or get too deep into the weeds. It is fine to go, we have heavy tanks, medium tanks, light tanks. Obviously, the devs have an idea that they want medium tanks to kind of do this and heavy tanks to kind of do this. But the problem is, that's not a problem, it's just an issue, I guess, is that some of the tanks blur the lines. So then when you try to shoehorn every heavy tank into this category and every light tank into this category, when there's tanks that blur the line that have a more interesting kind of playability, if they were able to do a little bit of what the medium tank does. So there's a slot, basically, what I'm getting. That's only for survivability on heavies.
That's crazy, because you've already got that option if you want it. If you want to put a spall liner on a heavy tank because you want more survivability, you'll do that.
Right.
But you don't need that slot to be specifically dedicated for a role that you don't really want to use in that tank.
Well, and why they do that, Pilgrim, in my opinion, is precisely because they want to diversify their equipment nobody would put that crap on a heavy tank. So they force you to. But of course, in standard wargaming, they're going to let you get out of that if you have some improved equipment or bounty equipment, because apparently those you can put on any slot.
Anything, yeah, that's right. Any
So,
slot will take an improvement.
You know, I don't know, man.
Well, the thing is, it'll come out in the wash, and I'm sure the stat collectors at Wargaming will perhaps notice. I don't know. Will they notice that actually people are not that happy about it? I don't know. I don't know how much they actually listen to the feedback, and only they will be able to tell you that. So
I think they listen to it. Some of it is from the feedback. I don't think they listen to it enough sometimes, but I'm on the player side, so we always think we know everything, right?
We play the game, don't we?
Yeah, because I have no life. My no life opinion on this is, and the reason I'm watching it and we're kind of talking about it with everybody here is, I just hope, and I'm watching for to maybe warn them if I can, if we get some setup that's ridiculous. There, you know, because I always talk about this part of this channel. Reason this channel is my fascination with the gaming community and how things work. You get people like, and I'm not going to blame this on 13 Disciple. I'll just use his name because he's a known CC. But this guy can crunch the numbers and look at all the angles, and he's going to come up with the best setup. And because he's also a really good player, him and people like 03 Mark Legend, when they start 3 marking or doing top things in the game, that they are going to give themselves every single advantage. So their tanks will be set up perfectly, or as perfectly as possible in World of Tanks, to do that thing. And if you give good players a kind of outlier capability, if you mess up this equipment rebalance, and there's this setup that makes a TD or a heavy tank or whatever that several notches above everybody else, you're just going to unleash hell on people, because these guys are going to run rampant, and they're going to do that anyway to some extent. They already do. They are. And again, this is not accusing them of anything. They're just doing what gamers do. And it's up to the gaming company.
You maximise your advantages, don't you, by gaining the knowledge, by digging into the stats or whatever you need to do to be able to maximise your opportunities on the battlefield. Of course you do. I mean, we all do that.
You min max. You min max, and I'm going to keep min max because I know that there's people who hate that term.
Flexing min max.
It's metaflex min max. There's no issue for us though, Pilgrim, because we're always laming at things, so it's fine.
I know. Yeah, I'm so bloody lame.
Bunch of no lifers. Anyway, so we'll keep an eye on the equipment test and what's going on with it.
Yeah, I think it'll bear itself out in the wash. I mean, we're as always, we are having a little bit of discussion about it, and yet we don't know the ins and outs of it and what it'll be like when it actually comes out on the game. And it'll be interesting to see. But what you're using is a little bit of your own experience to sort of forward think and go, this is the possibilities it could end up being. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I don't want to poison the well or poison the sponge here, because that term doesn't quite. Poison the well probably works better, but poison the sponge.
I've got no idea what you're talking about right now, mate.
Yeah, poison the sponge was something we always said about the new guys. Don't be negative and down about the Air Force and crying about your career and pissing and moaning in front of the young lieutenants. Don't poison the sponge. He's a sponge. He wants to soak up all the goodness of learning how to fly. Don't bring your personal BS and poison the sponge, is something we always say. So that's what I'm trying not to do here, is say, the new equipment.
I don't think we're doing that. I think what we're doing is just pointing out some realities that given that you've played this game for 10 years, I've played it for 7 or 8 years, we sort of guess and we sort of understand how the dynamics of this goes. I mean, I'm not an expert in any way, but I do get most of what it's about. And then to introduce this whole new scheme, it's like, I mean, am I an old man who doesn't like change? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I'll take on change if it's for the benefit.
Old man yells at clouds.
Yeah, clouds, absolutely. I go out there.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, it's going to be a complete disaster and ruin the game, right?
Yeah.
The game is over. First, the IS-3A killed the game, and then the Chrysler K killed the game. Actually, it was the other way around, but anyway. All right, so
anyway.
Good segue, because here we are. We're going in. We're going into the wheelie nerf. All right. We have a document here you can't see, so there. But the wheelies are getting a nerf. It is some slight gun handling nerfs, not much. Some very small top speed nerfs, but I think the most interesting part and the most important part, which I have said over and over again, is the mechanics by which they get slowed down are going to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
In theory, it's going to slow them down more. I'm going to wait a little while before I comment too much on it. I really don't think so, but we'll see. If they do get slowed down considerably by taking a hit to the wheel, that would be good because that will make them easier to take out.
Yeah.
We'll see. But here's some interesting.
It looks progressive. It looks as if you take one wheel out, it'll slow it down by a percentage, and then if you take another wheel out, it'll slow it down by another percentage.
Well, see, now you're forcing me into it. Then you're forcing me because it also mentions things like if it hits a wheel that's not being used. Remember, if it's in maneuver mode, I want to say all four are down. If it's in fast mode, in the case of the EBRs, if it's in fast mode, only two are down. Four, I guess. The corners.
Yeah, you've got maneuver and fast, haven't you? So it's maneuverable when,
So, okay, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm going to have a video, actually, about how stupid these things are. It's going to star the EBR, whatever, FL10, I think, which is what I was running. It might have been the 105. But anyway, it's going to star one of those tanks. It's just a gameplay style that personally I do not like in World of Tanks, and that's my personal problem. I know there are players who love the sprayed roach aspect of those things, but I just feel like they don't belong in the game in the way that they're mech'd. That's my opinion.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Guido. It's not that they don't belong in the game. Absolutely put them in the game, but give them similar, if not the same mechanics as other light tanks.
Yeah.
Or define the class better. Don't call them a light tank. Have, whatever it is that you need to do to make them balanced. It's a good word and it's used a lot, but it is the truth. Make them balanced.
And as always, I'm going to tell you the one thing that actually drives me the craziest about them. There's one thing that drives me absolutely nuts that they did with these things, and maybe two. The not slowing down thing is definitely up there. The one thing, and people will probably think this is a little thing, but it's the stupid auto aim assist thing they have.
Yes.
That they have decreed as illegal for every other tank. Yet they give them to these things. I cannot wrap my head around that decision that they made. I do not understand that.
There is no rhyme or reason with that. There is no logic behind that decision making because they have screamed blue murder about people cheating and using aimbot mods and all the rest of it, and yet they've introduced specifically something they have screamed about. That they actively go out and try and stop.
I think balance-wise, I think that the logic that they went through was because they move so fast, they're hard to get it's hard to make their standard auto aim work.
Well, that then increases the skill level requirement for people playing them. Then
ding 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 ding. Exactly. In my opinion, exactly right. So it's not a case of I don't understand their logic train. It's a case of I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. It just makes no sense. But anyway, so wheelie tanks are getting a nerf, guys, in the near future. You know what's not being touched, Pilgrim?
No.
The premium apparently is not being touched.
Oh, you see, now that will make it an IS-3A.
Dude, I just...
Oh, dear.
Here's an interest. So here's my question on that. That just reminded me. I was thinking about this the other day. The TDs used to keep their camo when they fired, and then that was removed. But guess what happened? The premiums did not get that capability removed. So the E25 and the Su-122-44 are two of the worst offenders of that. Those would have to be older TDs that have that, but the older TDs did not get that special capability that TDs used to have. They took it away from Tech Tree and any new ones because they have issues with people saying bait and switch. Except for the fact that you signed a EULA TOS end user agreement, whatever you want to call it.
We don't actually own any of the tanks that we've bought. We have them as a contract.
You're paying for them. You're paying for access to them as long as the company wants to let you have access to them. But it's a multinational company, and there's different laws in different places, so they're trying to, and I got that. So why that is related to the EBR and is that they're not going to take away the EBR capabilities. So my question becomes, okay, these new slowdown mechanics, are they not going to apply to the EBR? Because it's not a specific nerf on a tank, but the TD thing seems to indicate whatever special powers, magic powers the EBR has, it's going to keep the premium EBR. I'm not sure where they are on that one.
I guess they're going to have to look at who's got them, in what quantity, and how will that affect the game. And also, because people have paid real money for these things, you've got that whole can of worms that you start to pop open then.
I don't think it has anything to do with how it affects the game. It's going to be purely...
Do you not think it's
going to be purely a legal question for them because...
Well, of course, yeah, absolutely, it would be, wouldn't it? Because
if premiums and reward tanks were adjusted for how they affect the game, we'd have a lot of changes.
Yeah, we would.
But they don't touch premium tanks, so this will be interesting to watch. Yeah. So
it's more to do with the legalities of providing a service and then changing it mid-term.
Yeah. So
yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens with the EBR FL10.
Well, that's the only wheelie I've got is the premium version. I haven't grinded out that line whatsoever, as I've told you before. So I will find out once it happens exactly right. I'll take it out and give it a spin. We'll see.
So there's two pieces to that. The gun nerfs and things that the 105 and the EBR 90 are getting appear to not be touching the FL10. I don't know if the Lynx had any listed. Did you see anything for the Lynx?
The only two tanks they were talking about was the Tier 9 and Tier 10. They weren't talking about the premium.
So maybe they get away with that by saying we're only doing the 9 and 10. They're the problem. The 8's not a problem. However, the overall mechanics of the slowdown thing would seem to apply to all of them to some extent or the other based on wheels damaged. Will that be applied to the FL10? That's the big question.
I mean, once this hits the road and starts running, I'll take the FL out and we'll have a pop and we'll see. Yeah.
Or will it purely be the 9 and 10 and the new wheel mechanics don't do anything to the 8s and I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm quite happy. We'll pop into a training room and you can aim the best you can and take a wheel out, and we'll see how that works with the FL.
I'll just lame a few shots right in there.
just aim at the rear wheel like I do. Try to hit it as it's moving from left.
That is a genius move. That is a genius move. That has the added effect. If there's another guy right behind him, you'll hit him.
Oh no, I do that all the time. I wasn't aiming for you, mate. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, brother. I had an arty shot like that the other day. I think it's in my greatest hits. I have it perfectly aimed in a blind spot where I thought it was a bush, and I fired, and it was way to the left. But it's one of those shots that actually it hit something because there was no explosion, and there was only one enemy tank left in the game. I'm like, oh man, that shot was so far off, but it directly hit that guy. Like,
I just think I've been focused here. This is not right.
Like, sorry, brother, you just got lamed.
So it works.
It does work. Yes. Map rebalances. We got Proc Cliff and something else. Ooh, I wrote Proc twice. Proc Cliff and what else?
Himmelsdorf, I think, is getting a rebalance.
Is it Himmels? No, Ruinberg.
Ruinberg, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, Ruinberg. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, so look for those changes, guys, are coming up. The Bond Shop rumor is still out there. I don't have any timing on that, but we should get new Bond Shop tanks, I think, by this year sometime. Yeah. Not exactly sure where or when, I mean. So, all right, the rest of the subjects du jour. Pilgrim and I were talking before we got started here, and I realized something because, from the COVID thing, England, the UK is coming out of its hermitage and starting to open up, which is cool. So congrats to England. They have other hotspots, and they're going to have to manage those, all that good stuff. Yeah. But you said something interesting, because what's the date of your independence?
Oh, God. I knew you were going to do this. 4th of July. Would you believe it? 4th of July. We're getting an Independence Day.
An Independence Day, my friends. Now you get it. What I want you to do is take some of that tea and go find your nearest body of water and chuck some tea in it.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Just for you, Guido.
Throw it in the tub.
I will drink coffee next Sunday. How about that?
Ah, there we go. Oh, because it
How
will
about
be.
that?
Wait a
I'll
minute.
have one cup of coffee on the go for next Sunday.
Oh, the 4th is actually Saturday. All right, that's all right. All right,
it's
good deal,
okay,
good deal. Yeah, just throw
Brilliant.
some tea in the tub or something, and let.
I'll do that. I'll go down to the River Cam and chuck a pot of tea into the river for you.
Yeah, but congrats to you guys. So that's a good deal, man. That's a good deal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, there's still stuff going on, as you said.
Yeah.
There'll be localized areas that are going to get locked down or dealt with. But hey.
Yeah, we'll have to deal. We'll be dealing with this for a while. So that was pretty cool. We're going to advertise now. All right, so I'm going to give this over to you. A memorial ride for motorcyclists in multiple countries. So go ahead and describe that for everybody. And I'll bring up the website for them to take a look at while you're talking.
Brilliant. All right, that's good. In 2009, there was a couple of brothers called Bob and Norman Parker over here who formed the Allied Memorial Remembrance Ride, but it was called the AWC-09, American War Cemetery 09, because here in Cambridge we've got the Madingley American War Cemetery, which is an absolutely fabulous place. If you go and see it, it is all white marble, and it is properly. You've seen military cemeteries before. So these two brothers decided that because they were bikers, they would do a memorial ride from Cambridge services down the A14 into Cambridge itself, circuit Cambridge, and then to the Madingley Cemetery, and then pay their respects once a year.
It's just two guys.
Yeah, it was just two guys and a few of their friends. They got together and they called it the AWC-09. Well, it was rebranded in 2010, and it's now called the AMRR, which is the Allied Memorial Remembrance Ride. At the same time, the guys had some, like we all do in the military, some friends from the US military, and specifically in Texas. And the Texan guy said, well, we'll do the same at the same time of the year that you do, so we'll have a ride as well. So the Allied Riders of Texas all got together, and we now sort of ride at the same day-ish, given the 6 hours difference.
Sure, yeah, right.
Yeah. And they go to war memorials in America, and we go to the war memorial in Madingley in the cemetery and pay respect at the same time. Then the American Legion riders joined in, and then it snowballed. The Canadians joined in, New Zealand, Australia, and so everybody from all these different countries, allied countries if you like, formed motorcycle rides from a set point through to a given memorial each year on the same day and the same time. And I've been doing it for a couple of years now. When I moved down to Cambridge, I noticed what was happening, so I joined in. I got my old little Royal Enfield, which I think I've sent you a picture.
Yeah.
So I sort of flagged that out. I put the Old Glory on. I put the Canadian flag on. I put the Union flag on as well. And we ride down the A14, and basically the city stops. So everybody stops, and they all clap and cheer as we ride through. Anything up to 600-700 riders. In the States, it's a lot bigger. You've got Rolling Thunder in the States, so it's sort of simple.
Well, that actually happens right in my town. Rolling Thunder is in Panama City Beach. Oh yeah, there's a Rolling Thunder, and it is a bunch of bikes. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, we do something similar. Before we set off, we have Rolling Thunder, so we all rev the engines, and it's recording all that sort of good stuff. So it's all sort of linked. But this year, unfortunately, due to the situation, it's been cancelled.
Yeah, I see a little cancel right there.
Yeah, I mean, they can't justify having 500 or 600 bikers all in close proximity, and
right.
all the admin that goes behind everything, closing the roads off, the police get involved, and everything else. So, however, they're going to do a virtual ride. So they're going to have an official group of, I think, 5 or 6 guys are going to go out and do the ride. And I'm going to go and join them. I mean, it's ad hoc. I'm just going to jump out on the Saturday, get on my bike, flag it up, and away I'm going to go. Starts at 11. And we'll do it. And I'm going to video it. Now, we get to the problem. My good lady, the house general, said, go and buy a little camera you can fit on your helmet. You know, and all that stuff. Because I'm going to use my iPad.
You have a better idea.
I got a better idea. I got my iPad. and I'm going to use this tape, and I'm going to strap it to my chest. And I'm going to record the ride with my iPad sticking up on my chest like this, right, all the way, because that's how we roll in the UK. Okay, we don't need all this special tech stuff. We just bit of sticky tape and whatever you've got it to hand, it'll work. And a cup of tea. I will have a cup of tea in my hand as well. So
I don't think anything says boomer more than duct taping your iPad to your chest as a camera.
Right, that's the first and last time you're calling me boomer, buddy.
Oh man, like I said, if you'd have just let me know, I could have mailed my daggum. I'd have mailed my GoPro to you for that, man. Holy cow!
You see, that's very kind, but I would not understand how to operate it, so it would be a waste of time.
Oh God, yeah, you'd be like that chimpanzee with the rock and banging something on.
Like touching the big black stone. What's it called?
That's what I was talking about. The obelisk, where he's just smacking.
So I will probably try and get it up on their site, but I don't think they'll accept it. But anyway, I'm going to video the ride.
So let me ask you this. Because what you just said there is very interesting to me, and I'm a student of human nature. In your honest opinion, because you just said you're like, well, they're going to do an official ride with 5 people, but I'm just going to join them as an ad hoc thing. How many other people do you suppose have that same idea in their head?
Hundreds. I know.
So we can't in good conscience all go together with 500 or 600 people. I think you're going to have 200 or 300 people.
Yeah, I think so, and I think we're going to be socially distanced.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course we are. You want to see you go on the website, and there are literally hundreds of people going, yeah, I'll be there.
The official ride is canceled. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
We're going anyway.
Yeah. We'll get to the cemetery. What they've already done is they've already recorded a service at the cemetery a few days ago with the local bishop and a few of the flag bearers. So that will be at the end of it. But I mean, we won't all be there because it's just an empty. It is absolutely a stunning place. It befits the sacrifice that the American airmen and the American soldiers made.
There's a video on the page, guys. It's allride.org. Oh, Allied Ride, not All Ride. AlliedRide.org. And
if it's easy to go to the Texas website, you also get the UK bit on the Texas website. If it's easier for you guys to get it.
But I can see the Cambridge American Cemetery. There's a video there, guys. You can check it out. Yeah. So there's a YouTube video. Very cool, man.
It is just an amazing place. Absolutely.
All right, so that's going on. Get on your motorcycle and head over to the UK.
Yeah, well, I'd love that. Do you know what? I'd put them all up in my house if the girl came over.
Yeah.
all 300 American Harleys. My neighbours would love me, wouldn't they?
Oh man, yeah, that would be you're talking about that for years.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yes. But thanks for that. Anyway, good.
Yeah, man.
Let me put that out there.
Yeah. So everyone check that out. All right, so getting towards the end here, I got a couple more things. Number one is last thing is a YouTube post. That was a food for thought. I actually like this, and I should have written down who said it. I apologize for not shouting them out right there. But the comment was interesting, and I think Pilgrim would agree with this. The comment was, your philosophy is familiar to me. Could be a common thread in the military. When lives are on the line, you must take responsibility for your own actions and do your best to be a productive member of the team. About the time I started watching your videos, I started taking responsibility for my own gameplay, and my stats and gaming experience have improved because of it. In fact, I'm finding it difficult to be around some guys in my clan who blame everything but themselves for the gameplay. If you want to increase your pen rate, and you know that some will miss and some will bounce, then just take more shots and use the W key to craft new firing solutions. It's more productive than crying about RNG and bad teams. Besides, we're in a bad team almost 100% of matches. Okay, so we go back to it a little bit. This means you get a larger share of the HP to farm. This is something you and I have talked about a lot. It's a central tenet, really, of my channel, is that everyone is playing the same game. Everyone has to deal with the same goofiness for RNG. The question isn't that, it's what you do with yourself.
Yes. Yeah, it's more about... I get it. I mean, this last couple of weeks, it's been frustrating to say the least because you're playing your game.
Yeah.
You start to work on your micro positions. You're getting good. You're looking at the mini map, and you're seeing the team start to fold.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can influence that. You can go and then flex and try and meta flex and try and influence that. But at the end of the day, you can't beat 5 or 6 enemy tanks on your own. Not many people can, put it that way. So you go and make the best effort you can. But my philosophy is, if you've done the best you can and you haven't been stupid in so much that you haven't just YOLO it out and died, then you've had a good game. But it is frustrating. I get it. I understand it. I'm not perfect. I blame the team. I've got a bloody team. But it's actually when you step back and go, what did I do to change anything? Did I do anything to change it? Or did I just sit there in that little meta micro position, farming damage and going, you know what? Yeah, the team's folding, but I'm just going to stay here. Did you? I don't.
And most people who are in a difficult technical job or a dangerous job or really cops, firemen, and it can be the same if you're an engineer or a web page builder or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't sit around blaming everyone else for everything that's going on. No. It's your personal skill and effort that's going to make the difference for you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Even if it is 1v29, as some people believe the game to be, it's what you do, man. It really is. You have to take that and you have to internalize that. You have to try to get better if you want. It's a pixel tank game. I try to caveat all these discussions with that. If you just want to drive your EBR over the hill and shoot someone and die, okay. I don't care for that. It kind of screws over the rest of the team, but I get that. But if you're going to do that and then complain about how it's somebody else's fault,
yeah,
and I know that's an extreme example, but that's a good example, then I think you're doing a disservice to yourself.
Oh, absolutely. And you're not enjoying that. Surely you're not enjoying that part of the game. The games are out there for us to have fun and enjoy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't download a game and decide that, oh, this is absolutely a nightmare, but I'll keep playing it because it's a nightmare. You don't do that, do you? You find something.
I'm sort of willing to accept that some people enjoy that. You can't use absolutes. I'm sure there are some people who like to just YOLO out and die, and it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
But I know where you're coming from. It seems like after a couple hundred of those, that might not be as enjoyable anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe you're just trolling, but I don't. That's not what we're talking about. If you're sitting around going, man, I wish I was better at this game.
Yeah.
But your solution to that is to blame everyone else. Well, there's a better way. You can actually get better than you are. I'm not telling you we're going to make you skill 4-2U or even Guido, but you can certainly get better at the game.
No, absolutely. I mean, getting better is incremental, and this is the problem with a lot of. This is my personal opinion. I think a lot of people come into this sort of game expecting for that skill level to maximize itself and you can get to the top quickly. It is not going to happen. You have to spend time on this game. You have to spend effort, and it's incremental. It's tiny little increments that get you better. I mean, I'll use my own experience because that's all I should use when talking about this sort of thing, because everybody else is different. But I went from a 48% player to where I am now, and I'm not a good player. I'm still average. But all that incremental skill increase, if you look at the win rate and all the rest of it, has taken time, and it's taken considered effort. When I first started the game, I had 3,000-4,000 battles where I just went, fun, boom, 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 bang, 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 and all that sort of stuff. And then I thought, why am I rubbish? Why am I absolutely crap at this game? Where am I getting killed? And then I stopped and started, and then I got into stuff like what you do and some of the other CCs and started to look around and started just to educate myself. So if you want to get better at the game, then you've got to take a more considered approach and not throw the blame out somewhere else.
Well, the game
where am I at?
The game will sort of lead you down a path, though, because I think what happens to a lot of people, and at least it happened to me, is you start playing, you realize you're kind of crummy. First, you don't care because it's fun and funny, and then and you're kind of crummy, and they're like, well, okay, I just need a better tank, right? I can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
if I get to tier
go
4.
on.
Oh, if I just get that tier 5. Oh, if I just get that tier 6, I'll be able to handle this. But of course, the competition increases, and then the skill. Once you get to tier 5, 6, 7, 8, the skill, the general skill level increases. So not only are you against better tanks, you're against better players, and so that leads people down this path of I can get better if I just get a better tank, and that's not this game at all.
No, but you're quite right. The game does lead because it is about grinding from the 1 to the 10.
Yeah.
That's how, for the monetarization of it, that's how it's sort of worked out by wargaming, that they force you to have to grind. And you do think, when I get to tier 10, I'm going to be the dog's bones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, if I get to tier 10, I'm always top tier. That's the problem. That's why I suck. Because I'm not, once I'm top tier, then my natural awesome skill level is going to shine through. And, you just watch out, guys. And then you get to tier 10 and you're getting your rear stuffed into the ground.
Absolutely. Do you know what? And what I try and do, and I don't get a good response every time, but if a good player takes me out in a matter of seconds, I PM him after the match and go, tell me how you did that. I'm not calling you a cheat. I'm calling you a good player. Give me the advice how I can go and do that, because you just mullered me and I thought I was in a hold down position. I had my tumor covered up, blah, blah, blah. And you just took me apart. Now, how did that happen? And sometimes you get good responses, and then at other times you get, get good.
Well, you just have to accept that that's going to happen and let it roll off and go, okay, if I get a 10% answer rate, I get 10% more information than I had.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. So that was an interesting YouTube post. Whoever that was, thank you. I apologize for not writing down the name of who it was, but
good stuff.
I've picked up a few new subs along the way, not subs in YouTube, but followers, and some great additions and people contributing to the discussion. So that's fantastic. All right, so we're just about done, but you have a story for us. Pilgrim's got another story.
I do.
This is one I've not heard, so we'll see what happens here.
Well, can I do this before we do the story? I'm looking into general pattern and so on, and I found 2 more quotes, and I'm pretty much sure that you guys will know this, but over here, his quotes are not that well known. Okay. So I need some explanation on the first quote I'm going to get, because there's some Americanism in there that I've got no idea what it means.
All right, send it.
So to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
He said, General Patton, the greatest tank commander known in the Western world, said, "Give me an army of West Point graduates and I'll win a battle. Give me a handful of Texas Aggies and I'll win a war." Now, what's an Aggie? Sorry.
An Aggie is from Texas A&M. There's a cadet corps there. I don't think he was West Point. I don't think he was an Aggie. That's an interesting quote. I would have to look that up. Anyway, Texas A&M is a university in Texas, and they have a cadet corps there. So it's a military school. It's actually much larger now, and has you can go there and not be part of the cadet corps. It's a huge system in Texas now, actually, with multiple different schools attached to it. But I guess he found that those officers were pretty damn good officers.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So Texas Aggie is actually. The Aggie bit is a West Point equivalent in Texas, then.
Exactly. Yeah, they have a cadet corps, but it's not a service academy. It's not an academy attached to a service, but they do. I think they're actually ROTC basically, but they do provide officers for all of the different services in the U.S.
Now that leads to another question. Actually, Texans are known for being over 6 foot. How do they fit into the tanks? You have to squash him in. You have to kneel down. You can't get you in.
Texans are all 8 foot or higher. I mean, I don't know what you're.
Oh, are they? Okay, so you've got big tanks.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Texas. That's why American tanks are so big, because we're so big and healthy.
Okay, all right, okay. I'll not do the other quote. I'll save that for another day, because we get this story done.
All right.
Although it leads into it, but we'll do it for another day if we want to. I just love the quotes. Anyway. How about a story which is a first world military power story that is about the indiscriminate use of air power just for a laugh?
Perfect.
Do you want that, do you?
Yeah, bring it.
All right. This is Pilgrim on the rampage yet again. I was a 20-year-old Lance Corporal. You don't have Lance Corporals in the military over there, do you? You have privates first class, I think, and then Corporal.
I think the Marines do. The Marines might have
Do
Lance
they?
Corporals.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lance Corporal. I was a Lance Corporal. Anyway, I was 20-year-old Lance Corporal. And I was posted to British Honduras, which is now called Belize, in support of the Belizean government. Not me just personally, but my regiment was posted there.
They just sent you over alone.
Yeah, send Pilgrim, he'll sort it.
Like a freaking British Rambo.
So my regiment was posted to Belize. And the story behind that is that Belizean is a coastal country, as probably all you guys do. In fact, a lot of Americans used to get in their yachts and sail down and stop off at Belize. It's a stop and off point.
Yeah.
So it's quite cool. But so it's a coastal country. Guatemala is landlocked next to it. So they went to Belize and they said, look, if we pay for a road, or, to be built from our border through to the port of Belize City, are we okay to use it? We pay for it. We need access to the water. It's a trading country and all the rest of it. So Belize went, yeah, absolutely, do it. So Guatemala paid for a 4-lane highway from the border all the way to the Belize City. And then the Belizean government closed the border and said, no, you're not using the road.
Oh, God.
Thanks for the road, but you're not using it.
Nice.
So Guatemala said, well, we'll invade you then. Now, because Belize was a protectorate of the British, it's a British colony, used to be, and then became a protectorate. They immediately turned to the UK and went, help! So we said, all right, well, we'll send out a regiment of infantry and we'll send out a squadron of Harrier jump jets. And we'll leave them there for as long as it takes just to keep the Guatemalans quiet about everything. So they did. And we went out and we were posted to airport camp in Belize. Just down from Belize City. I've got lots of stories about that one, but we won't go there.
Well, that's a clever name.
Not like the host general said.
Airport camp. That's
camp.
all you could come up with.
Right. Okay. There's better than this. Airport camp. I'll behave. Right. Airport camp. Right.
Couldn't be camp domination or camp.
No, it's airport camp.
Okay.
And it was where Dogs of War were filmed. By the way.
All right. Yeah.
So when you watch Dogs of War and you see the airfield, that's where it was filmed. Anyway, so there's lots, but I was single then, didn't know the house general then, so I'm not going into too much detail about what happened in Belize, right? So anyway.
Well, what happens in Belize stays in Belize, right?
Exactly. Right. So anyway, we were posted, and what we set up, a good infantry regiment that we were observation points on all the border control points throughout Belize and Guatemala. So we were set up at a place called KO. CAYO, KOOP, and it was just a tin hut on a hillside with the jungle cleared, overlooking the Guatemalan border post, the Guatemalan army camp, if you like, and their observation post, which was on top of the television radio tower, right? So they had two guys sitting in that, and they were about half a mile away from us, so you could see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had like binos and all that.
Just looking at each other, yeah.
Yeah. So we decided to have a bit of fun with the Guatemalans, as you do, being the British Army abroad. So we've got this thing called the General Purpose Machine Gun. It's a 7.62 GPMG, and you can convert it to sustained fire roll. So it goes onto a tripod. You remove the butt, and you've got a butt plate that goes on it, and you sort of fire it off center. You've got all these dials on it that you can pre-aim everywhere. You can shoot at night time without even seeing the target, and so on. So we set it all up, and we put it on the roof of our OP, big belt-fed machine gun, right, pointing at their OP. Well, they panicked, right, and they got a Browning. They got a Browning 303, and they stuck it on top of theirs, pointing at us. So we were waving, and they were waving, and we were going, should we shoot them? No, we won't shoot them. And so on and so on. So we're just having a bit of fun with them. Then an army truck from the Guatemalan army camp came down to the border post, and a load of armed soldiers got out. So this is the indiscriminate use of air power. I, as a Lance Corporal, 20 years old, was given the... This is crazy. Given the ability to call up JTAC or JTOC, Joint Air Task Operations, and ask for a flyby by Harrier jump jets. A Lance Corporal, 20 years old. I was sat there on the board having fun with these Guatemalans. I went, I'm going to piss you boys right off now. got on the net. Hello, can we have a tasking? Blah blah blah. Yeah, no problem. Where do you want us? I want you over the border. So about 15 minutes later, so 15 to 20, this Harrier jump jet came in, hovered over the border post for about 3 or 4 minutes, just like that. The camp, the other side, bomb burst. There were trucks going left, right, centre. There was men running. You can just imagine it, you know. They thought they were getting invaded, so it went everywhere. You know what I mean? The pilot went, "Is that enough?" I went, "Yeah, that's great. I've got the camera. I've photographed everything. Thanks, mate." Absolutely brilliant. Again, another international incident by Pilgrim. Well,
Goodness.
so there you go. Indiscriminate use of air power by Lance Corporal.
So they, no kidding, just started bailing, huh? Started
Yeah,
running.
no, they didn't defend the border. They just disappeared out of the camp. There was trucks going left, right, and the OP the other side. They dismantled the Brownie. You could see one of the guys running away with it on his shoulder. It was like, no. Yeah, we got air power. You haven't.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Great stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, there you go.
That was a different day, man, wasn't it? That was a different age.
You just do that now, could you? Crikey.
No, there's no way you could do that now. The people.
You'd be on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you'd be in jail. The U.S. military, you'd be in freaking jail. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, that's it. I think, man. I think we've covered everything we wanted to cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking on my list. It's all done.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for coming by to Coffee Talk once again. We had a lot of fun. Hopefully you did too, and learned a few things along the way. Let us know what you thought down below. Much like the stream, we can take the feedback and implement stuff. If there's stuff you see that's good, bad, and different, let us know. I do appreciate it. That's me from the left side of the Atlantic signing off.
And I'll sign off from the correct side of the Atlantic.
The right side. Get what he did there. All right. See you guys later.